Hi guys, Mons here. On this episode of All the Mons, we're going to be looking at the review for the Hungary versus Ireland game. Before I get started, I just want to thank everyone who subscribed to my channel so far. If you do find yourself on my channel, please make sure to click on the subscribe button. Thank you very much. So let's just get started. So the Hungary versus Ireland game, it was an amazing game. Especially the last 15 to 20 minutes of that game was absolutely unbelievable. You honestly don't get feelings like that for club matches on the international games. Feelings like that, you can't make it up. You can't feel like that for your club. You can only feel like that for your country. And it was honestly the last 15 to 20 minutes of that game was probably one of the best feelings, especially when the last minute winner went in. That was probably the best feeling I've had watching football in a very, very long time. Obviously, the game started. Ireland had a very, very poor start. We conceded the goal. Then obviously we got the penalty. Good work from Bennett. We got the penalty. Troy Parrott, after a long delay, he put it away brilliantly. The second goal took it really, really well as well. And then we went on to the last 15, 20 minutes. Even when Ireland went 2-1 down, I still felt like we were going to win that game. For some reason, I had a very, very strong belief. Even before the game, my preview, I said we're going to score maybe 2 or 3 goals, needed to win this game. And that's exactly what we did. Troy Parrott was fantastic again on the day. Honestly, he scored about 5 goals in the last 2 games. And we've won 3 games in a row for the first time in a very, very long time. Obviously, to go through to the World Cup, to get through to the World Cup group stages, we need to win 2 more games. But we can talk about that when the draws are made on Thursday. In this game, like I said, Troy Parrott was unbelievable. Honestly, you get goosebumps. I've watched that goal, the last minute winner. I've watched the last minute winner so many times in the last 24 hours. Honestly, unbelievable. Troy Parrott, what a hero. Hat-trick. I think he's the first Irish player to score a hat-trick away from home. Unbelievable. Honestly, I would imagine he'll get a big move in this summer. He will obviously leave the Dutch team and get a big move to the Premier League team. I believe. I wasn't a big believer of Troy Parrott before this last week or so, but after watching him basically drag this country to the World Cup playoff, unbelievable. Honestly, such a clutch player. The brace in Dublin and then the hat trick in Hungary, unbelievable. Honestly, I would imagine that's probably the best maybe week of Irish football in a very, very long time, in my opinion. It's the best week of Irish football I've had anyways, since I started following the Irish football team. And also, I remember tweeting saying, "Oh, Fina Zaz needs to be taken off. He hasn't been great this game." And this was like in the 70th minute or 60th minute. And in the last 20 minutes, Fina Zaz literally returned to Kevin De Bruyne, and it was unbelievable. What a ball for Troy Parrott's second goal. Unbelievable pass. I guess that's why the manager is getting paid to manage the team while I'm here talking on this podcast with you guys. Like I said, Fina Zaz was unplayable in the last 15 to 20 minutes. I felt like we should have brought Johnston on, the West Brom player. I felt like we should have brought him on. I felt it would add more penetration that we needed. Like I said in my preview, I said we couldn't go out on a whimper. And for the first maybe 70 minutes, that's what it looked like was going to happen. But then, like I said, the last 15, 20 minutes, unbelievable. Best moment I've had in football in a very, very, very long time, if I'm being completely honest with you. Honestly, you couldn't be more proud of Ireland. Honestly, like I said, the emotion you feel, the emotion I felt yesterday watching the Irish team was something I've never felt watching a club football game, in my opinion. Especially when that last minute winner went in. Imagine being with your friends in the pub watching that game. I said it was probably one of the best feelings ever. I was at home watching it and I felt fantastic. So imagine being out in the pub watching with your friends. I would imagine you'd remember. I think that goal is significant. It's going to go down in history of Irish history of the significance of that goal. I would imagine people in 20, 40, 50 years time, when you look back on it, you'll remember exactly where you are when that goal went in. So, like I said, Ireland's always been a football country. The whole country's on a buzz. I was looking at the Irish Twitter page of that Troy Parrott last minute goal. It's got over 2 million views now so far, and it's been just over 24. It's not even 24 hours yet. So I feel like Ireland needed this goal. The team needed this goal, and also I would also say quick shout out to Kenny, the previous manager. He gave most of these young players their debut, and he gave them confidence to play in the Irish jersey. So that's a quick shout out to him. I know he wasn't very successful with the Irish team, but I believe he laid the groundwork and the foundation for this Irish team to that we're seeing progress of. We're seeing signs of now over the next couple of years, hopefully. like I said, Ireland were under the cosh. We were under the cosh for about 70 minutes of that game. But like I said, last 15, 20 minutes, best 15, 20 minutes of football I've watched in a long, long time. And I felt in a long, long time. Like I said, passion like that, you just don't feel passion like that for a club team. You feel passion like that for your country. And also, Quaven Kelleher, what a keeper. He kept us in that game. The amount of save, very good save, routine saves he had to make to keep us in that game was unbelievable. Honestly, like I said, Brentford got a steal from him got a steal from Liverpool, even with the price tag. And I believe the next couple of years, Quaven Kelleher will be one of the top goalkeepers in the Premier League, in my opinion. What a fantastic keeper! Kept us in that game, and also the Irish manager. Everyone just called him the dentist. Kudos to him also. After the Armenia game, if you told us that we were going to get through to we're going to go through as one of the second teams to get through the playoff, everyone would just laugh in your face. But like I said, I never gave up hope. All of my preview for the Irish game, I felt like we could win. We had a slim chance. I always felt like we could win. We could get through the next stages, and hopefully, I'm looking forward to the draw on Thursday. See what we get and see how we're going to get on when the playoffs are being played I think in March. I'm really, really looking forward to it. International football is the highest level of football, in my opinion. Honestly, you can't replicate that feeling for club football. Obviously, you feel fantastic when your club is doing well, your club is winning a trophy. You feel great. However, for country, when your country is doing well, honestly, there's nothing can replace that feeling, in my opinion. That's pretty much it. Like I said, everyone in the country is on the buzz at the moment. There's honestly nothing better than the Irish football team doing well. So hopefully we get a good draw on Thursday, and then we look forward to the playoffs. The playoffs in March. And then the playoffs is a little bit. I think the path to the playoff is a little bit strange. I think you play one game. If you're in pot 2, you get a home draw. But if you're in pot 3 or pot 4, you get a away draw. At the moment, Ireland in pot 3, but I think that could still end up in pot 2, depending on results tonight and Tuesday night. And then it's a one-legged game. There has to be a winner, and then it goes extra time or extra time or penalties. And then the winners of that play another round, and that will be the final round you play. And if you win that round, then you get to the World Cup group stage. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm very, very hopeful we get to the next stage of the World Cup. Thanks for watching this video. Also, don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Thank you very much. Have a lovely week.